My name is Elowen. I am 32 years old. I live in a big empty house with my husband, Aldrich. Our home has 10 rooms. Every room is very clean and perfect. But even though there is no dust, the house always feels cold. No fire can ever make it warm. My days start at 6. I make coffee for Aldrich. The steam goes up in the quiet kitchen. I put eggs and toast on a plate, but he never eats them. He drinks his coffee without talking. He never looks at my eyes. Then he leaves for the city. After he goes, I am like a ghost in my own house. I clean things that are already clean. I shine silver that is already bright. I go from the kitchen to the living room. Then I go to the bedroom. I clean and clean to fill my empty life. I look out the big windows. I see the pretty gardens. I see cars going by, but nothing feels real to me. I eat my lunch alone. The silence is so heavy, it feels like a weight on me. This house shows that Aldrich is rich, but for me, it is like a beautiful prison. Today, I went to the study to clean. I was cleaning the brown wooden shelves. An old book caught my eye. When I pulled it out, something fell to the floor. It was a rose. It was very old and dry. It was once bright red. Now it was brown and easy to break. When I touched it, my fingers started to shake. This flower was from another life. 14 years ago, I was 18. I was young and full of life. I was a girl who felt the warm sun. Back then, I loved a boy named Evander. He was poor but very kind. He had dark hair. His eyes were so honest and true. We were always together. We walked home from school in the golden light. We ate ice cream on park benches. We talked about our dreams. Our dreams were simple. We only needed each other. Evander did not have money. His mother cleaned big houses like the one I live in now. His clothes were old and worn, but his heart was rich. He had more goodness than any rich person. But my parents only saw that he was poor. They had different plans for me. They wanted me to be safe and important. They told me that love could not give me a house. Love could not give me a good name in society. Then Aldrich came. He was from a family of rich bankers. He had expensive cars. He wore expensive suits. My parents loved his money. They did not give me a choice. They said I must marry him. They said I must be smart about life. They said my marriage to him would save our family. I remember the day I broke Evander's heart. The sky was gray. It was raining. We stood in our park. The sky was crying with us. He knew something was wrong before I spoke. I told him I could not see him anymore. I told him I would marry Aldrich. He did not argue with me. He just stood there. The rain hid his tears, but I knew he was crying. I turned away from him. I walked away. I left the only person who truly knew me. He stood alone in the rain. 2 months later, I wore a white wedding dress. It was made of silk and lace. The wedding was very big and expensive. It was more like a business deal than a real wedding. People said I was lucky, but I felt like I was at my own funeral. I was only 18 years old, but I felt old inside. Now, 14 years have passed. I understand my choice now. Aldrich has power and money, but he does not know how to love. He sees me like a piece of nice furniture. I am something to show to people. I am something to keep clean. I am something to ignore. I am just a decoration in his life. I watch his cold plans in silence. I put the dry rose back in the book, but I could still see Evander's smile in my mind. It was a sad reminder of the life I gave up for this cold, beautiful house. At 6 o'clock, The heavy front door opened with a loud sound. Aldrich came in. He walked past me without a word. He went straight to his office. I was invisible to him. At 7, he came out. He told me we must go to a big party for rich people. He did not ask me. He gave me an order. He told me to wear nice clothes. He told me to smile. He told me not to embarrass him. I hate these parties. They are places where people lie and show off. No one talks about real feelings or truth. They only talk about what they own. But I did what he said. I chose a dark blue dress. I put on my makeup very carefully. It felt like I was a soldier getting ready for war. The woman in the mirror had empty eyes. She was not the girl who ate ice cream in the park. When Aldrich saw me, he did not say I looked nice. He just nodded that I was okay. We drove to the hotel. We did not talk. When we arrived, he acted like a nice gentleman for the cameras. He opened my door for me, but his hand on my arm was very tight. It hurt. He spoke quietly in my ear. His voice was cold and mean. He said, "Smile. Look beautiful. Do not make me sorry I brought you." Inside the party room, the air smelled of expensive perfume. I could hear glasses touching. Aldrich left me alone right away. He went to talk to other rich men. I stood alone. I had a glass of champagne in my hand, but I did not want to drink it. I felt sick because everything was so fake. Then something changed. The host went on stage. He told everyone about a special guest. This man had just come back from other countries. He was now very successful around the world. My heart started to beat very fast. The doors opened. He walked in. He wore a nice suit. It showed that he was very rich now. He moved with confidence. Everyone looked at him. It was Evander. After 14 years, he was in the same room as me. He was not the poor boy in old clothes anymore. He was a man with power and money. But when he turned and saw me, I saw the same brown eyes. Those eyes once promised me everything. The room seemed to disappear. The noise became quiet. For one moment, we were 18 again. We were standing in the rain. I could see all the lost years in his face. I saw pain. I saw longing. I saw a love that never died. Tears came to my eyes. They fell down my face. I could not stop them. Then I felt a sharp, painful grip on my arm. Aldrich was there. His face showed he was very angry, but he was trying to control it. He saw us look at each other. He knew. He did not need to know the name. He knew a ghost from my past had just walked in. He spoke in my ear. His voice was like poison. He said we were leaving now. He pulled me toward the door. I looked back one more time. Evander was watching me. His hands were in fists. His face showed a helpless pain. The drive home was terrible. We drove too fast. We did not talk. Aldrich's anger came off him like heat from a fire. When we got inside the house, he could not control himself anymore. He started screaming at me. He said I embarrassed him. He called me a cheap woman who still loved a ghost. I tried to explain. I said I only looked at an old friend. Then he hit me. The hit sent me to the floor. The pain was a shock. But I was more shocked that he could hurt me like this. He did not stop there. He pulled me up. He threw me against the wall. I lay on the cold floor. He looked down at me like I was nothing. Then he locked himself in his office. After that, my world became very small. Aldrich took my phone. He said I could not leave the house. I was a true prisoner now. The bruises on my arms and face were my only company. I hid them under long sleeves and scarves. I saw myself in the mirror. I was fading. I was becoming a shadow. My skin was pale. I was getting very thin. Weeks went by. I was scared and alone. Then a small chance came. The woman who cleaned our house got sick. Aldrich wanted his special food. So he told me to go to the market. He gave me a list. He gave me a time limit. He warned me that he would know if I did anything wrong. The sunlight was very bright when I stepped outside. I had not been outside for a very long time. I walked with a limp. I hurt my leg when I fell down the stairs. Aldrich had pushed me in his anger. Every step was hard. At the market, there was so much noise and so many people. My weak nerves could not handle it. I reached for a bag of apples, but I was not strong enough. The bag broke open. My food fell all over the ground. I fell to my knees. I started crying. I was so frustrated and so weak. Then I saw 2 hands. Someone was helping me pick up the fruit. I looked up. I looked into the eyes of the man I dreamed about every night. Evander. He looked horrified. He saw my shaking hands. He saw my pale, thin face. He saw the bruise under my scarf. He did not ask if I was okay. He asked what Aldrich had done to me. He led me to a quiet bench. His touch was soft and gentle. It was so different from the violence I had learned to expect. I could not control myself. I cried and cried. I told him everything. Evander held my hand. His palm was warm and steady. He begged me to leave Aldrich. He said he had money now. He had the power to protect me. He told me about a life where I would never be cold again. If I had not been so poor, he said quietly. If I had been braver 14 years ago, where would we be? We would have been happy, I said through my tears. But fear is a strong prison guard. I told him I could not go. I told him Aldrich was a monster. He would find us. He would hurt us. I saw a car at the end of the street. It was a black car. It looked like Aldrich's car. Fear grabbed me. I stood up. My body was screaming in pain. I told Evander he had to forget me. I told him I was sorry for the past. I was sorry for now. I ran. I ran toward the busy street. I wanted to get to the bus stop. I wanted to get home before Aldrich knew I was gone. I heard Evander shouting my name. His voice was desperate. It was a final plea. I turned my head to see him one last time. I wanted to remember the man I had loved too late. The sound of the car horn was the last thing I really heard. It was a loud, metal scream. Then the car hit me. I felt myself flying through the air. The red apples from my bag flew everywhere. They looked like drops of blood on the gray road. When I hit the ground, the world went silent. The pain was very strong. Then suddenly, it felt far away. It felt like it belonged to someone else. Evander was there. He took me into his arms. His tears fell on my face. I lifted my hand. It felt as heavy as a rock. I touched his face. I am sorry, Evander, I whispered. I loved you, but I loved you too late. He begged me to stay. He begged me to fight, but I was too tired. The cold house, the angry words, the years of silence. It all went away. The last thing I saw was not the clean walls of Aldrich's house. It was the eyes of the boy from the park. In his arms, I finally felt warm. At last, I was free. The funeral was empty and sad. Aldrich stood at the grave. He looked like a sad husband, but his sadness was fake. just like his money. He only cared about looking good. Evander stood far away under the shade of a tree. To the world, he was a stranger to my life, but he was the only one who truly cried for me. When everyone left and Aldrich drove away, Evander walked to my grave. He put red roses on the grass. They were bright and alive. They were like the flower I found in the study. He is a very rich man now. He has the big houses, the nice cars, and the power. My parents wanted these things for me. But as he sat by my grave, he understood the sad truth. He had everything in the world, but he lost the only thing that made life worth living. His money came too late to buy the one thing he really needed: time. He whispered goodbye into the wind. He left the roses to dry in the sun. He is rich, but he is completely alone. And maybe, somewhere far from the cold rooms and the rainy parks, I am finally 18 again. I am waiting for him in a place where time does not matter. In this world, we were a sad story about bad timing. In the next world, maybe we are just two people who loved each other enough to finally be at peace. Thanks for listening to my story on Learn English by Stories. If you liked it, hit that subscribe button for Learn English by Stories, drop a comment, and tell me where you're listening.